Greetings. Alright, I got my last few sips of coffee here. I prefer to use these heavy duty type of respirators here anytime you're messing around with rock dust, cutting them, sanding them, any of that stuff. And I like to wear ear protection with this machine. Alright, let's get into it. Today we're going to slab a few Petoskey stones. This is the one we're going to start with. I'll dip it in some water, show you what we're working with here. So a couple things on this stone. The height of it's an issue first. It's going to be just a little too tall to fit in there, if you can see, so I'm going to just zip that top part off. Alright, we'll double check here and make sure if that was good. It's just about perfect. With this crude setup I have here, I like to double check and make sure this thing's all square. I got a piece of angle iron here that I use, 2x4, kind of holding it in place so it's easier to grab. And I'm getting this in place to cut these at about 1/4 of an inch thick. Petoskey stones can be a little tricky to slab in regards to cutting into them right to get the best pattern. I'm definitely still getting the hang of it. Alright, let's see how this first cut went. When these little end pieces and cutoffs have a really good pattern, like these two, I definitely will set them aside to make jewelry out of them later. Now taking a look at this, you can see a hairline crack there. We'll see how this next slab cuts and if that's going to be an issue. Sometimes in the past, when I see a line or crack like that through the stone, it can almost render the whole thing useless as far as being able to make coasters from it. This stone has a really nice eye pattern. Alright, I still see that crack there. Let's grab the slab though and see if it passes a little stress test. Shoot. Oh well. I will still be able to use this stone for other things, but I really hope the next slab doesn't do that. Alright, time to move on. It's not going to magically reattach itself. Alright, well, there is a little bit of that line there still, but we'll see how it turns out. It's winter time here in Michigan, and I usually do this in the summer so I can use a hose just to spray everything off. Since I'm doing this inside, I don't have a hose, and you gotta frequently make sure all the pieces that might come off this rock or the crumble don't stick to the angle iron or on the platform of the tile saw here. Alright, moment of truth. Let's test this puppy out. Alright, nice. I think this one will work good. I think I'm going to clean this one up a little bit more. We'll just set it off to the side and come back to it in a little while. Well, looks like there's enough material left here that I can get one more slab out of this. Alright, well this one will go into the use for something else pile. And we'll take a look at this slab here. Alright, it looks good. We got another successful one here. Well, that wasn't a very big rock, but we did manage to get 2 decent slabs out of that one. I'm going to grab that first good slab and just take it back to the blade to round it out a little bit more here. There we go. I like that better. Alright, let's see what we got up next. This looks like a pretty good one with the way the eye pattern here is on the side. It should work out well for slabbing it. I'm going to need to cut a little off the bottom again. This will allow it to fit under the blade cover and should also give me a nice smooth flat bottom here to work with so I can stand it upright easier. Not the best view of the coral pattern on the stone from this cut on the bottom. Alright, we'll double check here and make sure it's going to clear the guard. Good to go. I do hope to get an actual slabbing saw soon. It will make this process much easier and way more precise, but for those of you who have a similar setup and are just using a trim saw and turning the rock on it, or a tile saw like this, I hope you get some valuable tidbits out of here. If you got anything that you'd like to add or comment to share your experience or advice, please do so in the comments area. Well, judging by that first little bit I shaved off here, it looks like this one's going to have another decent pattern running through it. No sign of any hairline cracks or fractures in this one. I shaved off about 1/4 inch, which is the same thickness I'm slabbing these at. That's not always going to get me far enough into the rock for the surface area I'm looking for on these slabs. Okay, here we go, next cut. Still very nice pattern here. This piece here will not be working for my coaster project here, but has kind of a unique shape. It would be kind of cool as a, decorative piece somewhere. Pretty confident this next cut should yield a slab that'll go into the winter pile. Again, always make sure your surfaces are free of little pieces of rock and debris here, otherwise that could throw things off just a hair and give you an uneven slab. Alright, let's take a look here. Well, looks like something must have been slightly off. Figures right after I say that, but that one side is thinner than the other. I don't see any debris on any of the flat surfaces, as I mentioned, but something must have been slightly off. So this isn't the first time that's happened. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong to create this, but I'm going to get rid of this angle iron and just try using the 2x4 for a few more slabs here. Alright, well, hopefully I can get a few more decent cuts out of this piece, just using this piece of wood here. Got a little hung up, so I got to open her up to pull this slab out. That's a lot better. This piece looks even all around now. Because it got hung up on the blade a little bit, you can see the blade marks on this piece, so that's going to take a little bit of time to get out on my wet belt sander. Alright, we'll get this thing pulled down, and I think we have time to cut one more slab here together. Okay, let's check her out. Looks pretty even. Good pattern. It's a keeper. Well, I thought I was going to take this last little piece through one more time, but I ended up changing my mind. I'll use this for something, but once in a while you get pretty unique pieces coming off the end. kind of like this one here I did the other day. Make for a really cool display piece once it's finished and polished. Well, when this process goes smoothly, I just wanted to show here what the final result can look like when I'm making coasters. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to check out our other videos on the channel and like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. All right, have a great day.